Hello, good evening everyone, and sorry we're a little bit late to you tonight. This is the V8 Flat Out E-Racing Championship coming to you live from Fuji in Japan. It's rounds 7 and 8 of this championship, sponsored very kindly by DMJ Vroom Vroom. You can see more about them, click on the link in the title there. We are on our first race here tonight, which is based on a fastest first qualifying, and our fastest qualifier was Sincor, who you can see there battling with Massio for the lead. We've got a great field tonight. I think there were 13 cars out there, and we have got a 20-minute race for you, which we're 3 minutes in, and then this will be followed up by another 20-minute race, but that's going to be a reverse grid. So as they come on to start lap 3, heading down this long straight here at Fuji. This straight is over 0.9 of a mile long, and here we go. Sincor looking to get his pole position lead back down the inside as they come up to the right hand hairpin, the first corner. Who's going to be bravest on the brakes? Massio's trying to hang on to it round the outside. Can he do it? Doesn't it? Sincor has got it out of there. Oh, and they're coming up to the left-hander at Coca-Cola. Massio's trying to go back at it. Oh, this is real wheel-to-wheel stuff. Fantastic. Massio takes out that cone marking the apex. Sincor's got that lead back. Can he stretch it out? Doesn't look like Massio's going to let him go. Who have we got in the back? Scott Fenton's there in third. Lockzet is there in fourth. And Slippert, who's a new driver to the series tonight, I know he's very keen to join us. He's up there in fifth. But we'll keep with this lead battle for now. Matteo looking to go up the inside there at the hairpin. Can't pull it off. Sincor is really fighting tooth and nail there, and it looks really tight all the way down the field. So here we go, coming up to complete the lap as they head up towards the Panasonic corner. Round onto the straight. Now it looks like Sincor has broken a little bit of a gap there from Matteo, but Sincor is obviously slightly concerned because he's going defensive already. Heading over to the right hand side of the track, tight up against the pit wall there, trying to prevent Massio getting down the inside at the first corner or getting the chance of a slipstream. Look like someone right in the background there going wide. Hard on the brakes into the first corner. Let's tell you what, let's hop on board with Matteo as we whiz around this Fuji track. This track was originally conceived as a NASCAR circuit, would you believe? And outside that first tight hairpin was going to be a big bank corner, but then they ran out of money. Oh, let's forget that. Massio's going up the inside of the hairpin. Can he make it stick? Sincor very kindly gives him room, but he's still got the momentum around the outside. So great racing there. It was originally conceived as a NASCAR circuit, but they ran out of money, and the Mitsubishi car company stepped in and provided money to finish the track, but in this format of more of a road circuit. Then obviously Fuji is well known as the last round of the 1976 F1 Championship, where James Hunt snatched victory from Niki Lauda, and then it obviously made a comeback in the late 2000s as a circuit once it came under the ownership of Toyota. But it's more known for GT and endurance racing, and that's obviously what we've got for you tonight. So here we go, down the main straight. Matteo getting in the slipstream of Sincor as we head towards that first corner. He's getting alongside. This is what we want to see. Real wheel-to-wheel stuff. Who's going to be bravest the brave on the brakes? Looks like Massio's got that move done, and it looks like we've got moves happening in the background as well. Look at this. Oh, side by side in the first corner. Who's going to be the brave? Slipper. Oh, I thought he got the move done, and then Lockstep coming down the inside. It was all getting a little bit bumpy, but they're all still pointing in the right direction. Dan in the background there. He said he'd never driven here before at Fuji, so he's doing very well up there in 7th. But look at these guys battle here. Glasty goes wide. Slipper trying to get up the inside, but he's on the wrong side for the hairpin as they come up to it. But Dan's getting into the battle as well. Look at this. He momentarily gets up into 6th place, but slips back down to 7th. So I don't think this battle is going to be over until they get to the checkered flag. We've got 12.5 minutes remaining. We've already had quite a lot of racing going on. So, down to the hairpin, nose to tail, nobody nudging each other, which is great to see. So, as they work their way back up the hill, oh, this is all looking really tight. And just to keep an eye on what's happening up front, Matteo is still holding off Sincor, but we will hop back to that battle in a moment. But we've obviously got overtaking happening all over. And interestingly there, Timorous down in 8th, a Greek driver who's had quite a lot of success before, but shows how the level of this field is moving up. So back onto this long main straight. This is where it comes to slipstream the battle. You see them all tucking in. Slipper tucking in there under Glasty 97. Who's going to be the first to stick the nose up? It's Dan. Oh, and Slipper. No, Slipper sticking out. He's going for it on the brakes. He's got by Loxer, and he's got by Glasty all in one move. Fantastic move on the brakes there, considering these guys have all got the same cars. That was fantastic stuff. So here we go, round Coca-Cola. I'm sure Slipper is going to be really chuffed with this. His first outing with flat out e-racing, and it's great to see such a big field out there tonight. I don't know where to look. It's all because where we can look, we'll just hop out the front because Sincor has got the best of Matteo again. So that battle for the front at the front is extremely tight. I'm interested to see Scott Fenton there of these top 6-7 drivers is probably the one in the safest position at the moment because he's not being attacked by anybody. But it looks like Sincor has got a little bit of a gap there coming away from Matteo. So we'll just hop back with this battle for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. So as they work their way back up towards Panasonic. Dan down the inside there of Loxek. Now Loxek had some success in the earlier races of the championship, but he's not quite at the front on this occasion. And we know Sincor and Matteo are extremely fast drivers, but here they go. They're all in each other's slipstream here. Heading down the main straight. Dan's right there using Loxek. Oh, they're going free abreast. This is all going to get quite exciting down into the first corner. Who should we jump on board with? Loxek seems to have got the better of the other two. Oh, Dan got it a little bit loose coming out of that really tight hairpin there and caught the side of Slipper, but they're all still facing their eyes. Bit of a flash of the lights from Dan there, but I think that was just a brake attraction. So these guys do seem to be settling down a little bit, so we'll just work our way back through the field a little bit. So we've got Timorous. He's there in 7th, a little bit on his own, 2.5 seconds behind Dan and 5 seconds in front of Noodlester. And then Noodlester is there battling with Glasty. Now Glasty must have made a mistake because he slipped down from 8th to 9th. And CC Cuver says hello. I say hello back. Great to see you on board. And Glasty's down the inside there of Noodlester, is he? No, around the chicane there at the bottom, and Glasty has got the better of Noodlester there. So obviously Glasty's trying to work his way back up towards that battle for 4th, 6th and 7th that he was in a little bit earlier, and he's trying to work his way forward. So let's have a look a little bit further down. Who we've got now? Pineapple Head. That's another new driver to the series. I think he's come to us alongside the driver who I mentioned, Slippert, who was up there battling a little bit more towards the front. So he's there doing a sterling job there in 10th. Select down there in 11th. And just, oh, look at this, Cajun 100. That's Kevin who's actually running this room for us tonight, so we all appreciate that. Heading down towards the first corner. who's got the better of who. Cajun's on the wrong side to get too much advantage. He's trying to sweep round the outside. So, and he's done it. Fantastic move there by Cajun 100. But Select's not giving that one up too easily. So, let's have a look as it come round. I think that is called 100R, which, sorry, that is the corner they're coming up to. The Japanese are not that inventive with corner names. 100R would be a 100-metre radius. So, as they go heading down towards the hairpin at the far end of the circuit, another possible overtaking manoeuvre opportunity. Select just half showing his nose there, but not really getting far enough alongside to make an effort. So let's have a look. So we've got Blue Jones there. He's a relatively new driver to the series, done a couple of rounds with us, getting up to speed, and has put in some sort of steady results. I think did quite well on the reverse grid the last couple of times out, so we may well see more of him in the second round. So let's just head back up front. Now Matteo has got the lead back off Sinkhall. These two, it's like a heavyweight boxing match, so they're slugging it out. So we've got just over 6.5 minutes left. Now Matteo need to be a little bit careful about that, running wide on the exit of that corner, because you can get a track penalty for doing that. So Michael Humphrey says, go on Blue, you can do it. I'm not quite sure who he's meaning by Blue, but I'm sure he'll clarify that for us, because we have got quite a lot of drivers out there, and most of them have got a bit of blue somewhere. So we'll keep an eye on this front running battle. Again, Scott Fenton in third. Oh, Sinkhall going to have a go? No. So we'll just leave these guys for a second. Oh, there we go. Lockstep, Slipper and Dan are still battling out there for 4th, 5th and 6th. Oh, Lockstep runs a bit wide and it looks like he's spun out there. Oh, he's got it back. Slipper, oh, Lockstep got that really sideways through the hairpin there. We will risk having a bit of a replay on it because I think it could be disastrous, but let's have a quick look. So Lockstep runs a bit wide there, gets it on the gravel. Oh, and he just caught it. Great stuff. So let's just hope this works back to its normal self. Great to see the replay is working tonight. At least something's working for us. We've not had a lot of luck with technology tonight. So Lockstep there in 6th has lost a little bit on Slipper and Dan, who do seem to be trying to battle down in the slipstream for the first corner. And they come out line astern with Lockstep in the background gradually catching them up. So let's have a quick look, see. Let's hop back up with this lead battle, because I think this is going to go all the way to the end. We've got just over 4.5 minutes remaining, so I think that is going to be just over 2 laps. I think it depends when they cross the line, so we'll keep an eye on that one for you. That battle for 4th, 5th and 6th is obviously got quite a lot of action in it as well, so we'll just keep an eye on that one for you in the background. Oh, Matteo, you got that completely wrong. It was going sideways and all over the place, then runs deeper the next corner. Sinkhall says, thank you very much, I'll have the lead. So I wonder if that suggests that Matteo's tyres maybe are wearing out a little bit more. No, there's no tyre wear on there, so it's not down to tyres. That was a complete driver error issue there. So here they go, back down the main straight again. Matteo sat there right in the slipstream of Sinkhall. Here we go. We'll ride on board with Matteo as we head up towards the first corner. You see the effect of the slipstream. Sinkhall goes defensive, but Matteo says, no, you don't. He's going right through that gap between Sinkhall and the pit wall. Can he get it done on the brakes? He's gone a little bit deep, and Sinkhall is back through. He doesn't need a second invite. Fantastic bit of racing between those guys there. So let's just hop back for the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Oh, and Slipper has unfortunately picked up a penalty which he needs to shake off by the end of the lap, but he has done that already. Oh no, he hasn't. He's almost done it. He's only got a fraction of a second to lose. So all through Coca-Cola, that's all a little bit brave there, but Dan was having a go, And these two battling, that's Dan and Slipper, has allowed Loxek to catch back up again. There they are, 3 abreast heading towards the hairpin. Who's the bravest of the brave? Slipper's on the best side. He's dropped his penalty. Loxek is trying to take advantage of these two guys fighting over 4th place to catch up. And Dan's got the inside run as they go down towards the hairpin. And Loxek is using him as a battering ram to get by Slipper as well. Suddenly Slipper's on the wrong side. And now he's on the correct side. Oh, this is so tight. This is so tight between these guys. Loxek trying to get 2 for the price of 1 here. He's got Slipper, or he did have. Oh, that was a little bit roughy-tufty. Calm it down, boys, calm it down. So, Dan has got a little bit of a gap between himself and Loxek, which will possibly break the slipstream. Loxek gets all sideways again, coming out of the Panasonic corner onto the main straight. So, Slipper, look at that, right under that rear wing of Loxek in front of him. He's going to make a move. Is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? We don't know which way he's going to go. But Loxek has got the move on Dan. They're going to 3 abreast. Where are we going to go with this one? Slipper's on the outside. Dan's in the middle. And Loxek, Loxek got it completely sideways. I don't know if there was a little bit of a push there. We'll go back and have a quick look. Oh, there's a little bit touchy-feely there now. Did Dan make contact with Loxek? Oh, I don't know. Very marginal, very marginal. Not really sure whether that was actually contact or not. It's very difficult to see from that particular angle. So anyway, Dan is still in 4th, Slipper in 5th, and Loxek in 6th. Fantastic battle we've got here. And up the front, it looks like Matteo has made the move on Sincor again. So we'll just hop back up the front. We've got just 50 seconds remaining, so I think this is going to produce an interesting situation where I think Matteo and Sincor are going to be the only guys that cross the line, and then the time is going to run out, so everyone out, these guys are going to have 1 more lap to settle this. So here we go, and I think probably Scott Fenton will cross the line because we can see him in the background there as well. So these guys have crossed the line for their final lap. Sincor's going to the outside, Matteo hugging the inside, trying to force Sincor to go the long way round, which you would expect. And Matteo hangs on to it on the inside. So 8, 7, 6, and these guys are going for another lap as well. Fantastic. Loxek's picked a penalty up there, possibly for track limits. Oh, it's a bit touchy-feely there again, guys. Oh no, we've lost one of them there. Dan, he came unstuck there, unfortunately. I don't know what happened there. Let's have a quick look. So everybody for 8th place down will have finished. So Dan, I don't know if there was any contact there or not. Oh. Well, I thought we'd lost Dan there, but I think we may have the glitches of our wonderful GT Sports playing us up again. So let's hop back with this lead battle, because that's the one we want to see. So here we go, coming up the final corner. Matteo has hung on to it. Fantastic battle we've had here. Race long between Matteo and Sincor. Sincor getting a little bit loose coming out of the last corner, but he's got the slipstream. Matteo knows it, so swerves across the track to try and break that slipstream. He swerves back. He's trying to shake him off, but the line's coming, and fantastically close finish there. 0.093 of a second, 9/100ths of a second. Fantastic stuff. Scott Fenton comes through in 3rd. Slipper first run out with the V8s with Flat Out E-Racing. He's come through in 4th. Loxtek comes across in 5th. 6th is Dan, and Timorous with a flash of lights comes across in 7th. So that was fast and furious, wasn't it? So we'll just have a quick look at the result here. Matteo will just see receiving the laurels of his race win. Qualified 2nd and got the win. And a clean race as well. So great racing by those guys up at the front there. So we'll just get up the full race result for you. So as we said, Matteo got through there in first, Sincor in second. Just 5 seconds behind was Scott Fenton. Had a fairly quiet race there, but still a good run out for him. Slipper, I'm sure he's going to be very pleased with that. First run out with the Flat Out E-Racing guys, and he's come through in fourth. Lockstick in fifth, Dan in sixth. Seventh was Timorous, guy we know's got very good pace. So it's quite interesting to see that he's coming through in seventh, because I think he's got some race wins under his belt in the past. We've got Glasty 97 in eighth. Pineapple Head, he's first run out with the Flat Out E-Racing guys. And then in 10th we've got Select, Cajun 100 in 11th, Noodlester in 12th, and Blue Jones in 13th. And the fastest lap there, as you can see at the bottom, was by Matteo, who did a 1:36.4. So we just got that. We've got 5 minutes before we move on to the second race, and just to give you a rundown of that will be a reverse grid based on the first race results. So those guys will have to move on to the medium race tyres. Now these are a lot harder and have less grip than the tyres that the rest of the field will be using, which will be the super soft racing tyres. So the idea of this is to level the playing field. So the 5 fast guys at the front are now slightly handicapped. We can't add weight like they do in touring cars, so what we do is make their tyres that bit harder. So those guys will be starting at the back of the grid. So the likes of Sincor, Matteo, Scott Fenton, and we've just got to change the screen there, and Slippert, and I think it was Dan that finished 5th. Oh no, it was Lockset. They are all going to have to move to the harder tyre. So that will be quite an interesting change. The other thing, while we just got a quick break, just like to talk about our sponsor, DMJ Vroom Room. Look them up on Facebook. You'll find their Facebook group there. You'll find a link to their website. Now, if you're into your racing, if you're into GT Sport, if you're into ACC, they have a website there with setups for different cars and different tracks. So if you're struggling to get your head round the perfect setup, these guys are ones to visit their website and find out what they can offer. You've also got a lot of things that they get involved with regard to supporting race series, like they're doing with ourselves here, and we're obviously very appreciative of it. And they're just, all-round good guys. They do stuff for charities, so please get on their website, have a look at what they do. Tell them you've been sent along by Flat Out E-Racing. That would be absolutely great. Now, just to talk about this series, this is round 7 and 8. It's a 10-round series, so we are heading towards our final round next week, which will be rounds 9 and 10, funny enough, and that will be at Autodrome Lego Maggiore, which is a GT Sport track, a fictional one which is based in Italy. And that will be again the same format with a fastest first and a reverse grid. So far this season we've had obviously 6 rounds, because this is 7 and 8. I'm sure you can work that one out. The first round was at Mount Panorama, the home of the V8s. The second round was rounds 3 and 4 were Interlagos in Brazil. And then last week we had a real departure for the V8s for rounds 5 and 6. We went to the Northern Isle Speedway, which is a NASCAR style oval. So that was one where most of the guys I think walked away from pretty dizzy. When you're down to sort of 20-second laps, it's something else, shall we say. So we are keen to try different things. Just to give you an idea where these guys are in the championship and where things matter in that respect. Obviously this doesn't include the race that we've just had, but at the moment the top 5 in the championship, first is Select, he's on 108 points, and second is Timorous, he's on 98. And then next up is Sincor. He is third on 95. Now, notice he was one of the guys who was very much up there at the front in the first race, so that's going to give him a bit of a leap forward. Cajun 100, he's there in fourth on 95, equal with Sincor. And fifth is Lockset in with 93, and those guys are about 20 points clear of the rest of the guys in the field. So it will be interesting to see how that shakes out, because the guys up the front haven't scored quite as heavily in that first round. So I think we're going to see something quite interesting as how the championship works out from the results of this first race, because it is definitely going to shake things out and make things, I think, overall a lot closer. I think the general winner is probably going to be Sincor. I think he's the one that's, depending on the result of the second race, is probably going to shake out fairly well up, because Matteo, who was the guy that he was battling with, he's currently 11th in the championship because he's only competed in 2 rounds. So I think we're going to see that he is going to need to make sure he gets a full championship in. Just been advised there's 2 minutes until race 2. I think these guys like Scott Fenton are out there at the moment. Yeah, they're out there. You can see by the bottom left hand corner of your screen, he's on racing mediums, so he's changed over to the harder tyres he's got to use. So he's out there trying to get a feel. And his field is taking him straight into the barrier there, so he obviously hasn't got quite as much grip as he thought he was going to have. So, and he's clipped that again on the way out. So, and I think that'll go the same for Dan as well, because I think he's on the mediums, so he's out there trying to get a feel for them. So, these guys, they'll be starting at the back in the second race, and they will be obviously slightly handicapped by having these harder tyres, which is roughly the equivalent of having a weight penalty. So as we count down to race 2, who do we think our money's on? I think I think we need to look at the result of the first race. Remember who was around about 6th. So I think that was Lockset must have been 5th because he's on the mediums. So Dan. So I'm trying to think who was 6th in the first one. We'll have to look back at that. But usually the guy who's about 6th or 7th, they're obviously quite on the pace on the first race, and then they've got the advantage of having super soft tyres on the second race. So the guys that are on the harder ones have just got to work that much harder to catch them up. So I think that's usually quite a good position to shake out. The other thing, just to talk to you a little bit more about flat out e-racing, we've got 2 main series that we run. One of them you're watching now, which is the V8 series on the Sunday night. And then there's another one which is our one make series, which is currently with the McGanns on a Wednesday night, and they are that's a fairly full grid, but I do believe there are some spaces left. So if you want to get involved in that, look us up on Facebook and we'll get you into the group, and you can find out how to join us. So Locksteck says hello and best regards to the commentator. Well, thank you very much for that one, but it doesn't actually make you I can't make you any faster than that one, but I do appreciate any positive feedback like that one, so that's always good. And we'll just look to see what else we've got going on in YouTube. Michael Humphrey was supporting Blue Jones, so we'll see what we'll do. I think he's going to be at the front of the grid for race 2, so he's got a good chance in that one. Kufa is in for Sincor, Glasty, Lockset, Matteo and Sleck. I think there may be a little bit of patriotism possibly in the Polish direction for them. And Lockset was saying thank you to the commentator. So drivers are saying they're all ready to go. So hopefully in a few seconds we're going to be away with this second race. So, Kufa says the commentator is the best. Thank you very much. I will be shaking my donation box at the end, so if you could give generously, I always appreciate that. So we've started the final. Here we go. This is it. Reverse grid. harder tyres. I don't know where this one's going to shake out. Let us know what you think in the YouTube comments. I'd love to see what your thoughts are on who's going to be the winner. So this is it, round 2 of the Flat Out E-Racing, sponsored by DMJ Vroom Vroom. This is going to be good. This is round 8. We are looking at a good one. So 6th place is always a good bet for a race on there. So Glasty could be the one to go for on this. So I think we're going to put our money here. So we're just rolling, waiting for the lights to go green. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and we're away. So as we head down this long straight, everyone goes line the stern to get the benefit of the slipstream from the car in front. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to be last of the late breakers into the first corner. Blue Jones goes a little bit defensive and keeps the lead round the first corner, so he's hanging on to that one. So can we see a little bit of action in the background? We can see a little bit going on. Glasty's looking a little bit racy there. So Blue Jones taking advantage of those super soft tyres, keeping a nice tidy line there as we work up towards the hairpin. So it looks like we've got a penalty somewhere at the back, but it's not significant this early on, hopefully, and probably just for maybe a little bit of contact. Oh, there's 2 penalties there actually, so possibly we've had a little bit of coming together. So as we head down for the tighter hairpin on the first lap, Noodlester's looking to go down the inside, showing his nose. Blue Jones is not really having anything of it. Oh, he's gone a little bit wide there, but he's keeping it on the curbs. Pineapple ahead. Oh, he's slipped through there quite nicely. Oh dear, it's not gone well there for Blue Jones. Unfortunately, he ran a little bit deep there on the brakes, but it looks like it's all getting a bit racy here again in the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th battle. Blue Jones is fighting back. He's back on the inside. Cones are flying in all directions. Oh no! Who's gone around there? Slick's been spun around, and Glasty 97, who was my tip for the race, has dropped down to 11th there. So that's all a bit of a disaster. So let's hop back up. So Blue Jones is back up to 4th. Timorous in 5th, Dan in 6th. Look at this. Oh, line the stern. We don't know where to look at the moment. Timorous looking for the inside of Blue Jones. He's got the slipstream. Dan looking keen there as well. They're all looking very tight there in the background. Everyone's going in 2 by 2. It's like going in the Noah's Ark. Here we go, up to the first corner. Blue Jones. Oh, I don't think, to be fair to Blue Jones, I don't think he saw Dan coming up the inside as well. Timorous made the gap through there, and Dan thought, the door's open, I'm coming through. So Blue Jones looking defensive there again as they go up through Coca-Cola. He's not on the best line coming into that corner. Oh, they've all run a bit wide, and I think that may have been possibly on a short car with a little bit of contact there, but look who slipped through into Syncor already. Look at it. Oh, this is all a little bit sorry, bumpy and boring. Be careful, guys. 3 abreast through there. He's not the best way through. Oh no! Let's see how they all shake out. We need a better camber angle. Here we go. Coming down to the hairpin again. They're all getting a little bit too side by side. Oh no, look at that. No, gentle guys, this is friendly racing. And Slipper seems to be the one that's come out of that best, because it was all getting a bit bumpy and bory there. Oh, and Blue Jones runs a little bit wide there. Slipper's trying to go up the inside, but Blue Jones says, no you don't. I'm up the front and I'm going to hang on to it. So Slippert and Scott Fenton are very close there as well. And slipping up the inside there, Glasty take them not 1 but 2 spots. Slipper, I think, got a little bit pushed wide there. Scott Fenton is alongside Locksteck there as well, who's trying to make his way back up. But I think the big winners here at the moment, those guys that start towards the front of the grid, Noodles, the Pineapple Head and Cajun, they're making the clean break there at the front at the moment. And just as I said that, Pineapple Head has slid his way through there into the lead. Oh, look at this, 3-4 abreast. It's all a little bit tight for what we want to see, but they've somehow scrambled their way round. Look at this, fantastic stuff. So, Blue Jones still hanging in there with 7th. Glasty in 8th, who was my original tip, but unfortunately had that incident with Select, so he's dropped his way down there. So, as they work their way up to the hairpin. Blue Jones looking defensive into the hairpin. Slipper coming around the outside there. Blue Jones definitely, this is his best race to date. He's hanging in there. He's not letting that position go. So, Glasty down the inside of Blue Jones as they head towards the hairpin. Who's going to be last of the late breakers there? Oh, Glasty got down the inside. So, Glasty up to 7th. Blue Jones down to 8th. So, let's have a look what's happening a little bit further back. So, Scott Fenton up. He finished 3rd in the first race up the inside of Slipper. Lockstead can't find a way through. It's all 2 cars wide in front of him, but yes, he does. They slide wide. Oh, Slippert's got a little bit loose there. It got possibly a little bit bumpy and boring. Slippert's down to 12. Matteo working his way through there as well. He's still in 10th, but the big winner has been there, I think, is Sincor, because I think if we head up to about 5th, there he is. Sincor is slipping through. He's going side by side with Cajun into the first corner. But he's on the inside for the hairpin, and Sincor has got the move done. So, next up the road is Timorous. So, he's definitely come out of that one well, because down in, I think, 10th is Matteo, who was the guy that he was battling with in the first race. So, Sincor's definitely had a good run through the traffic there to work his way up. So, let's just see what's happening right up the front. Pineapple Head. First run out with the V8s, and there he is leading our second race. We've got over a quarter of the race has gone. We've got just over 14 minutes left. He's got a gap of 2 seconds on Noodlester, so he's having a good run there at the moment. He got past Noodlester a couple of laps ago, so I think he could be a good, possible good bet for this one, because he's got a little bit of gap back to the likes of Sincor, who will need to put in some stunning times to catch these guys up. So Noodlester there in second, falling back a little bit from Pineapple Head, about 3 seconds back now, and Dan is catching him from behind, but there still could be a really good result for Noodlester there in second. As you said, Dan there had a good result in the first race. I think he was either 5th or 6th. So he's worked his way up to 3rd already, so I think he'll be pretty chuffed with that one. So down in 4th, Timorous didn't have the best of first races, but he's on those super soft tyres in the second race, so I think we're going to see good things from him. He's got Sincor hunting him down though, so I think that could be a challenge. So looking back, Matteo is looking down the inside of Lockstead on his hunt, trying to hunt down the front of the field. Scott Fenton there as well, trying to use Matteo as a battering ram to get by Lockstead as he pulled it off. And the one that seems to have lost out there is Sliphurt by the look of it in the background there. So Matteo through to 8th. So his next target is going to be Cajun, and I know he's got a little bit more pace than Cajun. So I imagine he's going to be catching him up, but the time on the clock is clicking away. We've got just under 12.5 minutes remaining, so if these guys want to get right up the front, they're going to have to make moves fairly quickly. So, and talking about moves, let's have a quick look, see if we can catch that on replay, because I think we've just seen Dan overtake. Got a slight glitch of our good old friend at GT Sport, and we've just seen Dan overtake Noodlester for second place. So Noodlester's got reasonable pace there, but he's just creeping back a little bit from the lead pair there. So let's see who's the next one up the line. Timorous, who's 2.3 seconds behind, who has been keeping Sincor very honest. Now, I think what we're seeing there is the difference in the tyres, because Timorous will be using the super soft, and Sincor is on the hards. Oh, sorry, the mediums. So what we may be seeing is how it's levelled out the field. That with those medium tyres, Sincor can only get up to the level of performance of Timorous. So it might be a case that those guys in front might be okay, and Pineapple Head could be on for a cracking win here, because at the moment he's nearly 5 seconds up the road. There he is. So all he needs to do is just keep it really tidy, and he could have this one in the bag, because we're heading just towards half race distance. 5 seconds up the road. I think it's going to struggle for the likes of Sincor to catch him, and also with Dan Even though he's got past Noodlester, I don't think he's got the pace to close that gap up, but time will tell. So let's just work our way back down the field. So we've just seen a little bit of change. Matteo has moved his way up to 7th, so we'll jump on board with him in a minute, but we'll work from the back to the front of the field. Now, Blue Jones, he was hanging in there great with that reverse grid pole position for a good 4 or 5 laps, but just unfortunately has found himself shuffled down towards the back of the pack. But it certainly showed that he's got the skills to fight there at the front. Oh, just as I awarded him skills, he nearly put it into the wall, but he showed he got skills because he caught it and it didn't end up there. So one driver who I know is going to be frustrated being down there in 12th, because he's currently leading the championship after the previous rounds, is Select. He's down there in 12th. Now he's on the super soft tyre and he just doesn't seem to have the pace tonight. Maybe this circuit doesn't suit him, but he's dropped well down there and he's down there in 12th, and I think he had a fairly good starting position in the second grid. So just hopping on with the drivers to get their names back up. Loxek there is in 11th. Now again, this is a driver we've seen fairly well up the front in the past, and he's down there in 11th, so this may well be a result of the way the tyres have been allocated for this second round. And Ali Slippert is also probably facing that challenge, that there's a limitation of what he can do on those medium tyres, and Scott Fenton the same. Those guys are both running the medium tyres rather than super softs as some of the guys further up, and that's as a result of their positions in the first race. So this is what we want to see, that the field get levelled out with the change of tyres. But so the ones that, oh, it looks like, yeah, after I complimented Pineapple Head on how he had 5 seconds and all he needed to do was to keep his head and not make a mistake, has lost 3.7 seconds of that since I mentioned it, and also has a 0.7 second penalty. So the curse of the commentator is strong in me tonight, so I do apologise for that, for anybody who was a big Pineapple Head fan, because I've just ruined his race for the night. And so it looks like Dan may now be the one that we want to be looking at as to who is going to pull this one off, because he's been able to pull that gap down from 5 seconds down to 1.4, and I think mainly because of a mistake made by Pineapple Head. So we'll just hop back on with Dan, because I want to see, yeah, he's got the Racing Super Soft, so he's got the same tyres as Pineapple Head, so there's no disadvantage between the two guys based on the tyres that they're using. So this is literally driver to driver. So we will just bring up the names again when we get them. There we go. But this gap at the front is around about 1.1, 1.2 seconds at the moment. It's staying fairly steady. We've got 7 minutes remaining, so that's about 5 laps. So I think this could be building up for quite a good finish between these two guys. Now let's just work our way back to see who's doing what a little bit further back, because we know that Noodles are there in 3rd. Now he seems to have settled there, because Timorous had worked his way forward in the field a little bit, but has not really made any inroads into Timorous there. And it's still about 1.5 seconds. Timorous, sorry, is 1.5 seconds back there in the blue BMW, back from Noodlesa. And Sincor really just, you know, had that really great performance in the first race, but just can't seem to make any inroads beyond 5th. Oh, and he's getting really sideways there, and that may be a reflection of those tyres, which are just that little bit harder. So down in 6th, we've got Glasty now. He was my outside bet for a good result in this. Starting 6th, had the super soft tyres, fast. You know, he was the highest up of the super soft runners, but unfortunately had that coming together with Select. So unfortunately that meant that he dropped down to the back of the field. So he's worked his way back up to 6th. And the other one that seems to have hit some kind of glass ceiling on performance is Matteo, because again he was battling with Sincor in the first race, and it was wheel-to-wheel stuff, and he's dropped back down there. So I was just, because I thought it looked like Noodlester was getting caught up there by Timber, so he is a little bit closer, but not massively. So we'll just head back down. So there's Cajun 100. He was very well at the front in this second starting grid, but he's still hanging in there with 8th. And when we've got 13 drivers on the track, that's a good result, and I'm sure Cajun will be pleased with that one. So Scott Fenton, again, this is another driver that seems to have hit a bit of a glass ceiling with these medium tyres. He was 3rd in the first race, very strong performance, not much behind the leaders, but this time round he's down there in 9th, and he's not really making too much inroads into Cajun 100 there. So we're just under 5 minutes remaining, so 3/4 of the race is gone. We'll just head back up the front to see what we've got going on with Pineapple Head. Now, having made that mistake a couple of laps back, he's got himself back to a gap of about 1.6 seconds. So just so I thought Dan was, you know, he got the fish on the line and was winding Applehead in there. It looks like Pineapple Head has got this one under control, so he's stretching that gap a little bit. So that may of course be the commentator's curse, so I hope he's not listening. So he's just working his way through the chicane there at the bottom. So I think we'll just look back and see if we can see anything battle wise going on a little bit further back. We'll just catch up with Slipper there in 10th, with Lockset coming up behind him, less than a second behind. And again, these were guys that were quite well forward in the first race, and I think Slippert is one of the guys running on the mediums. And again, it's showing how much this limits the performance, which we want to see. We want to have a championship where it goes down to the last race, and it balances out the championship between these guys. We don't want to fake it. We just want to make it a bit more even, keep everybody's interest, and not let one driver run away with it. Which is, for those of you who followed back to season 1, we had one driver that won every single round, regardless of whether he started at the front or the back. So when you have a situation like that, you need to look at it and try and work some way of actually evening it out to give everybody a fair chance. So let's just have a look up the front, see if we've got anything developing. So Pineapple Head, the gap there, it's come down a little bit, down to 1.2 seconds. But Dan is not making any massive inroads, and I think when they come round, I think we're going to have 2 laps remaining. So Pineapple Head just needs to keep this together for a little bit longer, and I'm sure he is going to be well chuffed with this. First time out with Flat Out E-Racing, sponsored by DMJ Vroom Room, and I'm sure he is going to be well chuffed with that as a result. And it just shows how our reverse grid system does shake things up. So if you want to get involved, get on the Facebook, look up Flat Out E-Racing. The Discord link is below the YouTube video, so please click on that and get involved with us, guys. As you can see, we try and have fun, close racing and give everybody a chance to have a result. So we've got just 2 minutes remaining. So there's Noodlester coming up to complete his lap. So he's about 1.2 in front of Timorous, and that is fairly settled. These guys at the front do seem to be very much in that Skeletrix kind of groove of steady lap times. As you can see them all strung out behind as we look down this long 0.9 of a mile straight. So maybe our podium is a little bit settled. Timorous, we know, as a driver, has got pace, but he just doesn't seem to be able to get that much closer to Noodlester. And the same goes for Sincor, up there at the front in the first race. And these medium tyres just seem to have limited that pace down to about 5th position for him, which is interesting, because some of these reverse grid races we've had drivers which have still won even though they've been on the medium tyres. So I think it's very much related to the track. And Sincor getting very sideways there, and must have transgressed track limits there because he's got himself a half-second penalty. So we've got just less than a minute remaining. I think those leading guys are getting quite close, so we're going to sit on board with this, I think, till they get to the finishing line. We'll keep an eye on what we've got happening further back. Oh, Pineapple Head. Oh, just one lap to go. He needs to keep it together. He got it really sideways there. He comes around Panasonic onto the main long straight. So he's still got a reasonable gap there of about a second. So that keeps Dan just out of the full-on slipstream benefit. So he's just got to keep this together for one more lap. So I think we're going to see that the guys behind him are probably going to finish. I think Noodlester has crossed the line. We've got 11 seconds remaining. So he's crossing. So guys in 6 across, they've still got another lap to go. 3, 2, 1. Is Matteo going to finish? He's done another lap. Cajun coming up. Oh, so Matteo has finished. So everybody from 7th down, as you can see there, is taking the checkered flag. Oh, and we've just unfortunately missed. We will try the replay, but I have a feeling it won't work. Yep, I was exactly right on that. It doesn't work. That unfortunately we missed Dan getting by Pineapple Head right on the last lap there. We were just watching all the other guys finish, and unfortunately we just missed the overtake for that win. Now Pineapple Head hung on to that lead from, I think, almost the first lap, and Dan just bided his time in the background there. Was about 1.2 seconds behind, but we did see that Pineapple Head was making 1 or 2 little mistakes, just getting sideways, and I imagine possibly at the end of the straight Dan just took the advantage and just slipped through. Oh, and Pineapple Head getting a little bit loose there again. So Dan done a very good played the long game very much there as they came round to complete the race. He just slipped through, got the win at the end, so I'm sure he'll be well chuffed with that one. So he comes through in first place, and then across the line in second, Pineapple Head, first time out with us, so he's got a great result there. Noodlester, I'm sure he's going to be well chuffed, and in fourth is Timorous. Right on his tail is Syncor, and then there's my outside bet for the was for the win, was Glasty, who is getting all a little bit excited as he comes up the finishing line. Yeah, it's that big white line in front of you, Glasty. Come on then, what are you going to do for us? Big donut? No. Oh, you might run out of time. Oh no, he's just crossed the line in time. So there we go, a win with a last lap overtake by Dan there. There he is, showing his spoils of victory. I'm sure he's going to be well chuffed with that one. So it went up 7 places from where he started the reverse grid race, so I'm sure he is going to be very, very pleased with that one. So there we go, that completes another night's racing with Flat Out E-Racing, sponsored by DMJ Vroom Room. So thank you very much for joining us. We'll just have one more quick look on the YouTube feed, and mainly because it says the commentator is the best. Thank you, CC Kuffer. I'm very pleased with that kind of feedback, and I will be handing my bucket round at the end of the night for you to put your recompense in. So thank you very much everyone for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed it. Sorry we had a few technical issues at the beginning, but hopefully we'll sort that out for next time. So feel free to join us. We're Wednesday night. You will see us on with the McGann Championship in our one make series, and then a Sunday night again we will be here for the final round of the V8 series when we go to Legor Maggiore in Italy. So in the meantime, stay safe and hopefully we'll see you soon.